One of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to lose weight is following the advice that eating less and moving more is all you got to do. Right? And I get it. If you go online right now, that's all you see, right? You see all the fitness influencers, the coaches, the trainers, people with PhDs and even doctor in their title, and that's what they're saying. Albeit those aren't the people that are necessarily in the trenches doing the actual research on this stuff, right? But it can be easy to be led astray. And look, I'm not trying to knock anybody who's trying to help and who's trying to make a difference. That's not my intention here. But information is important too. A lot of the information out there is leading a lot of people astray, and it's causing a lot of hurt. And this type of thinking is lazy and it's myopic. It's doing damage. It's causing people to think that they're broken, that something's wrong with them because they've followed that advice. They've done the diets. They've taken the eat less, move more model, and they've done it to a T, but it doesn't work for them. And I'm not cool with that. Now, if you look at people like Dr. Ben Bickman, who is at the tip of the spear in leading research in things like biodynamics, which is the study of how our cells metabolize energy, okay? He acknowledges the importance that calories play in terms of manipulating our body weight and losing weight or gaining muscle or whatever. He acknowledges how important that is. But he also acknowledges how important it is to recognize that our metabolism and how we utilize calories is just as, if not more important, especially for our long-term success. Right? And even he, who's the expert, he's like the guy when it comes to this stuff. Even he recognizes that he doesn't fully comprehend how complex the human system is and why somebody can eat everything they want and anything under the sun and they stay in great shape year round, whereas somebody else who would eat the same exact thing as them will gain weight each week. Now, what that should tell us is that the human system and metabolism and all of these things and human physiology is much more complex than just calories in versus calories out in the simple law of thermodynamics. Let's take an extreme example, type 1 diabetics. Now, it is a fact that a type 1 diabetic can pretty much eat anything they want and stay really lean and skinny as long as they don't poke themselves with some insulin, even though that's incredibly dangerous and it can cause a lot of harm, right? But it is true that, as morbid as this sounds, a type 1 diabetic can basically eat whatever they want and still have a six-pack even if it winds them up in a coffin. And that has everything to do with insulin sensitivity, i.e. metabolism and how well you metabolize glucose. And it's got nothing to do with calories in versus calories out. So eat less, move more can't possibly be the best or the only way to lose weight, especially in the long term. Not unless you want to be hangry all the time and you want to have your results be very short-lived. And while calories in versus calories out is a big lever in manipulating your weight in the short term, and it's probably the biggest lever in the short term, it doesn't take into account sustainability of weight loss and a healthy metabolism and body composition in the long term. So, how do you get and stay in shape year-round without obsessing over calories all the time? Well, number one, you're going to want to lean into the fact that improving your metabolism is going to help. If the machinery is operating more efficiently, it's going to be easier. It's going to give you more wiggle room, right? When I eat a banana, it does something very different in my body than somebody else, right? So why not upgrade the machinery a bit and improve metabolism, right? Now, to do that, it's going to take more than just information and strategy. You're going to have to look at your lifestyle. You're going to have to look at your behaviors, your habits, and your mindset, okay? But I want to give you 3 big levers that you can pull right now to start improving your metabolism. So number 1, you can increase your insulin sensitivity. This is probably the biggest correlative piece of information that we have on metabolism. how well we metabolize glucose specifically. Okay, and it's also something that you can do. You can make a few shifts and see immediate changes, right? I'm not talking about losing weight overnight, but improving your insulin sensitivity. You can do that relatively quickly. Now, this is going to have a bigger effect if you're insulin resistant. The truth is, most people are to some degree, especially when your body fat levels go up. Generally, that's going to mean that you're more and more insulin resistant. There's a few ways that you can do this, right? There's a few tools that you can use, but one of the easiest ones that's going to show immediate results is just simple carbohydrate restriction. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about completely removing carbohydrates, although if you want to do that for a little while, that's fine too. But if you do eliminate or remove carbohydrates or restrict them for a while, what will generally happen is you'll resensitize, right? And then when you reintroduce those carbohydrates, your body will metabolize them much more efficiently. You can get really nerdy with this if you want, and you can wear a CGM, continuous glucose monitor, and that'll give you real-time data to say like, okay, well, I put these foods in, I take these foods out, and that's how it affects my glucose and my insulin, right? How quickly I see that spike and that fall. Or is everything kind of staying midline, right? And then over time, you can track that and know if you're actually making progress in improving your insulin sensitivity. Now, number 2 is improving stress management, right? Getting rid of chronic stress. Now, this one is hard to measure, but chronic elevated levels of cortisol is one of the biggest correlatives to your metabolism and how well your metabolism is functioning, right? So anything that you can do here to improve stress or decrease stress is going to play a big role on your metabolism, right? So you can do this through actual physical things, the stress relieving activities, routines, rituals, those types of things, and those are really good. But also it's important to recognize that most of the stress that we experience on the day-to-day is stress that does not exist out of our own thinking. We create most of the stress that we experience on a day-to-day basis. And the quicker that you realize that, the better off you're going to be. Okay. Number 3, there is no finish line here, guys. Recognize that this isn't about just, okay, show me what I got to do for 12 weeks so that I can beat myself up and starve myself and then get to the finish line. Focus on habit. Make it habitual. This is about lifestyle change. And to do that, you're going to have to look at your habit and your behaviors and your mindset. There is no finish line. We're not playing finite games here. This is health and vitality for a lifetime. So focus on habit. So let me ask you, do you want to keep following the eat less, move more model? And you want to keep having that yo-yo effect with your weight, up and down, up and down, up and down? Or do you want to improve your metabolism and develop a lifestyle and the habits and the behaviors that support that for a lifetime? If you're ready to unlock your metabolism and you want to develop the necessary lifestyle changes and habits and behaviors to support that, then comment yes below and I will send you my in-depth training taking you step by step on how to do this. All right, that's all I got. On your side, it's Taylor.